first year that we were there, we knew our 4th year, well, we had talked and said, we love these people, we love this valley so much, that if we stay here much longer, our roots are going to be so deep that we will never want to move. And so we had set our goal that we would try to save money, Reed's 4th year teaching there, and go back to Idaho State to get his master's degree. And so I was offered the opportunity by the superintendent, Ted Bell, who became the U.S. Commissioner of Education, or whatever the title was then.
Secretary of Education.
Secretary of Education. One of the first when that department was formed. But he was divorced, and so he loved the association with us, with Vern and Reed and our families. So we did a lot of things with him and had use of his boat all the time if we wanted to. Lots of little lakes if we wanted to take the boat out and just take our kids out for an hour or so to tootle around the lake. And Dad thought that was great fun. We didn't have life jackets. We didn't have life jackets for the kids. And I'm not much of a swimmer. And I would sit in that boat. Dad was having fun. The kids were having fun. And I was tense, waiting for that to be over so we would be safe back on shore. And I used to have dreams about my children drowning. That was the stressful thing. I don't think Dad ever realized that it was that stressful for me to take my 2 little ones out on a boat with no life jackets. So I appreciate the fact that parents today all have life jackets for their little kids to protect them when they're in the water until they become good swimmers. And Ted Bell was a good friend, and he came to me that summer before our 4th year and said, I have a teacher, an elementary school teacher, who has had surgery, and she has not resigned. She wants to come back, but I know she won't be ready to come back, and I don't want to fire her, but I have to be prepared to replace her. And I have this little school. There were several communities in the Star Valley area, and they all fed into the junior high and the high school in Afton. But elementary school, they each had their little schools in their own little community. And Auburn was about 6 or 7 miles away from Afton. It's this little town, and it had a little schoolhouse with a kindergarten, a 1st grade, and a 2nd grade, just those 3 little grades. And that's where this teacher had been. And he said, would you be willing to teach kindergarten for me? I had a 1.5 years college. I had had 1 class, Introduction to Education. I had no background at all to teach anything. But he said, we can get you an emergency credential. And what they did was this teacher that wasn't able to come back was teaching the 2nd grade there. So they switched the kindergarten teacher to her 2nd grade class, and I was to take over this kindergarten. It was just 3 hours in the morning. I had to drive to Auburn, teach for 3 hours, get the kids all on the buses to go home, and then drive home. And Don and Barbara Hazard, good friends of ours from college, had moved to Afton with Dad's help. He helped Don get a job in history there at Afton at the high school, and they lived just next door to us in a basement apartment of one of our other good friends, Tom and Shirley Nelson. And so Barbara said she would tend my 2 little ones while I went to school, and I was home in time to feed them lunch and put them down for a nap. So I justified that I could leave them that long, and I saved every penny. Well, we didn't pay tithing then, so it was every penny to help us go to school at Idaho State when we went back. And I used to bring papers home to read. He was 4 years old, and let him do some of my little kindergarten worksheets and puzzles. And he enjoyed that. But I was there and took a nap with them every day and felt like I was still an okay mom, even though for the cause of education I left them with a babysitter in the mornings while I did that. And it was a great experience for me to teach. There was a coordinator of all the elementary teachers, and she would come out and help me get started. And the teacher that had moved from the kindergarten class to the second grade class every month would come and bring all the materials she had accumulated and that she used for her kindergarten class and give them to me so that I had something to work with. So it was a great learning experience for me, and I don't think the kindergarten kids suffered too much because I was pretty conscientious about trying to do a good job for them.